And you're looking at Shannon, his brand has never really been anything that said he might not be into some of the things that we're learning.
You can smell that this is for record. You can smell that this, if you want to go there, is for the setup. This is for the shakedown. Or you can say, oh no, she's just being explicit and she's just being open, and that's their relationship. But this is where I'm like, oh man.
Shannon Sharpe is catching serious heat, and Ryan Clark isn't holding back. Ryan just went off, calling out Shannon's long-standing questionable behavior around women. While he didn't directly claim Shannon is guilty of the latest allegations, he definitely hinted this isn't the first time Shannon's been in hot water. And Shannon? He's spiraling over Ryan's remarks. But here's the twist. Rumor has it he's still pleading with Gabby for a private settlement to quietly sweep the mess under the rug. From where I'm standing, it feels like we're witnessing the start of the end for Shannon, and it's getting really messy. Imagine telling someone last year that Shannon would be facing a wave of serious allegations in 2025. They'd probably laugh you off and suggest you get checked out. Yet here we are, and let's just say it's far from pretty. But what's even more telling is that Ryan Clark isn't the least bit shocked. In fact, he said it's totally on brand for Shannon, given his reputation for being off-putting around women.
No man wants to be associated with those things that's not his intent, and that's not his heart. And so my biggest thing for him is, if these aren't actions that are of him, I hope that he's cleared of them.
Right.
And then for the young lady, if these are things that has happened to her, you hope that she's able to process that and in some way feel like she has been not only compensated, but that she has sought and found the justice that she's looking for. But it's like you said, period. It's just a bad look. Whether it's the text messages, whether it's the voice messages, whatever it is, it's
One of the things Ryan talked about was the texts and audio clips that have leaked in connection to the lawsuit he's currently fighting. Most of y'all have seen those texts by now, and y'all know how weird and creepy they are. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me. I know you miss this big juicy behind. $25,000 for each cheek. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. I want to put my tongue in your hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. F. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it, because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Maybe this wouldn't be that bad if it was between two corn-obsessed teens. But the fact that this is between an old man and a 19-year-old makes you want to pass out from the secondhand embarrassment. Like, what do you mean $25,000 for a cheek? Put a big black baby in me? Oof. What makes it even worse is the fact that Shannon's lawyer was the one who actually leaked these texts. It was supposed to be some sort of clapback, to prove that Gabby was the one asking Shannon to do these things to her. But all it did was make Shannon look like an old guy who still thinks being freaked out is edgy and is obsessed with OAF models and corn. Not a good look at all. And don't even get me started on the recordings. 2 recorded phone conversations have been making the rounds these last few days, and they're even more cringe than the texts. You can hear Shannon literally threatening the poor girl, and she sounds scared the whole time.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What? What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do.
Ryan didn't hold back, calling out Shannon for his past behavior toward women, particularly the way he talks about them on his shows. Sometimes people's true nature is hard to hide, and looking at Shannon's past, his public persona never really suggested he'd be above the kind of behavior we're now hearing about. It all fits with the image he's built, even if it's hard to accept. Exactly. If you look back at his IG Live or listen to some of the sponsors he promotes on his show, or just pay attention to the way he talks about women, especially black women, it becomes clear. He's never really tried to hide it, and while it's not necessarily illegal, it's uncomfortable to watch. There's definitely something off about the way he discusses women, and it's hard to ignore once you've seen it. That kind of talk might fly in a locker room full of pro athletes, but in the real world, it paints Shannon as not just weird, but also as a misogynist. It gives people a reason to believe he's the type of guy who would mistreat a partner, and it doesn't stop there. Recently, an old tweet resurfaced where Shannon seemed to throw shade at black women. He said, "Why are you on my page? Don't you have another horse to rob of his hair? Stop trying to kill my vibe." This was in response to someone calling him out for being biased against black female players in the WNBA. It only adds fuel to the fire of his controversial image. The post accused Shannon of showing unwavering support for Caitlin Clark while turning a blind eye when black women are disrespected. Honestly, that moment should have been a red flag about where Shannon's interests lie, but it doesn't stop there. It turns out this isn't the first time Shannon has faced accusations related to inappropriate behavior with women. People have dug up more from his past, revealing a troubling pattern of misconduct. People dug into Shannon's past and uncovered a troubling complaint from his time as co-host of FS1's Undisputed. Allegedly, Shannon was accused of choking a female production assistant on the job. One insider claimed that Shannon and Fox settled with the accuser for several $100,000 without a lawsuit being filed. Another source revealed that Shannon's team worked with Fox's legal team to keep everything quiet, knowing it would create major backlash if it got out. But once the new lawsuit gained attention, the story came to light, and his team had to publicly deny it, claiming there was no choking incident on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. Oh, but it gets worse. Shannon's ex, Michelle, also sued him in the past. Guess what? The lawsuit looks eerily similar to the one Gabby filed against him. Michelle filed her lawsuit in 2023, claiming that she had dated Shannon for about 10 years before she switched up on her. In September 2010, Michelle found out that Shannon was cheating on her and decided to confront him. But he didn't take this well and allegedly became violent with her. He would allegedly force her to perform oral on him and then force her to the bed where he allegedly sayed her while saying he would make it so no other man would want her. This would sound familiar to anyone who has seen Gabby's lawsuit against Shannon. She claimed that the first time he sayed her was when she tried to break up with him in October last year after he went live on Instagram while sleeping with another woman. He also allegedly forced her to go down on him saying, "You've disrespected me so much. I'm going to punish this I will make it so no man will want you again." Then he allegedly proceeded to say her through her a-hole. And while he was doing it, he said, "Look at my arm. I've got chills. That's how good this is." The whole time she was crying and sobbing uncontrollably. According to Michelle, Shannon started threatening and stalking her after the attack. He said he would ruin her life if she opened up about what he did to her, and he would call her repeatedly to remind her that he was watching her. At some point, she got so scared for her life that she had to file for a restraining order against him and then sue him for defamation. After he broke up with Michelle, Shannon trolled her endlessly on his platform. He would make jokes about her and didn't stop his fans when they threw insults at her and lead her online. After this lawsuit resurfaced, Shannon's team released a statement blasting Michelle, saying she was only hopping on the Shannon hate train, hoping to get some cash. They called her lawsuit old news, fanciful exaggerations, and blatant misrepresentation of facts. Shannon's defenders insist that the accusations are baseless, asserting that he has done no wrong and will vigorously contest these harmful falsehoods. Despite this, Michelle remains firm in her stance, now claiming that Shannon is repeating the same actions against Gabby that he once took against her. Michelle argues that there was no reason for Shannon to bring up her OAF account or disclose her OAF username, yet he did so anyway. She believes this was a deliberate tactic designed to divert attention away from the lawsuit and refocus it on Gabby's personal choices. In Michelle's view, this move was calculated. I want people to see what Shannon did to this woman, doxing her by releasing her name and OAF account details. Michelle described the situation as terrifying, warning that the consequences for Gabby will likely be severe because of Shannon's actions. She added, "I still feel the aftershocks of it today, and as you can see from the complaint, much of what I endured stems directly from that." Meanwhile, Shannon continues to argue that this entire ordeal is a mere shakedown and maintains that his actions toward Gabby were neither wrong nor illegal.
This was a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million.
In response to the lawsuit filed by Gabriella Zuniga and spearheaded by her lawyer Tony Busby, Mr. Sharpe's attorney issued a firm statement condemning the legal action as a blatant and manipulative attempt to extort millions of dollars from him. The lawyer characterized the lawsuit as riddled with falsehoods, exaggerations, and mischaracterizations, emphasizing that it is doomed to fail. Mr. Sharpe strongly rejects all accusations of coercion or wrongdoing, particularly the unfounded claim of sexual assault, and he views this legal move as a clear attempt at blackmail, which he refuses to bow to. Mr. Sharpe remains resolute in his commitment to the truth, ready to confront these baseless accusations head-on in court. He is confident that, through a fair legal process, the facts will prevail, leading to his eventual exoneration. However, it was later revealed that, contrary to his public stance, Shannon had been quietly attempting to negotiate a settlement with Gabby for months. In fact, the two had been engaged in mediation well before Gabby decided to file her lawsuit. At one point during the dispute, Shannon offered Gabby a staggering $10 million to settle, a move that now casts serious doubt on his innocence in the eyes of the public. After all, if he were truly blameless, why would he be willing to part with such a significant sum? Offering that amount makes it seem as though he's trying to buy his way out of a situation he knows he can't defend. Mace sharply criticized Shannon for this, arguing that the $10 million offer was a catastrophic blunder. By attempting to pay Gabby off, Shannon inadvertently revealed just how desperate he was to keep the scandal out of the spotlight, placing himself in an extremely vulnerable position.
This extortion angle that Shannon and his lawyers have chosen could either be A, cover, let's inflate his worth before this hits, because we know it's going to hit negotiations that are broken down in settlement, or B, which is worse, probably, someone with knowledge of these negotiations and the settlement offers leaked it to the public to blow up Shannon Sharpe's potential deal. Someone knew that he was in line for $100 million and leaked it to blow up the negotiations and the settlement, the mediation, and to deflate his value. So now you're not gonna get $100 million because all this gonna hit the fan. Maybe one of the suitors did that, or someone close to Shannon Sharpe. So I just wanted to set that up. That's just setting up the tone.
Allegedly, when Shannon realized Gabby wasn't going to accept his settlement offer, he shifted into damage control mode, attempting to portray himself as the victim of a setup. And from the looks of it, this strategy might be gaining traction, as that's what seems to be dominating the conversation now. Marcellus Y chimed in with his take on the situation, offering some intriguing insights. He pointed out the odd timing of the lawsuit, noting that it was filed just 2 days after news broke about Shannon potentially securing a massive financial deal. most of us are aware of the buzz surrounding Shannon's reported $100 million deal with King Empire and Shay Media, which made perfect sense given his massive reach and success. But as Marcellus reflects, it's interesting to consider whether Gabby knew about this deal beforehand, since the news hit on a Friday, and by Sunday, she had filed the lawsuit. It raises the question, what happened in that brief window between Friday and Sunday? For context, Shannon was about to ink a $100 million deal following the expiration of his contract with Colin Cowherd's The Volume podcast network. Given the huge numbers Shannon pulls across his various shows, it's not surprising that major companies were eager to sign him. His interview series alone has almost 90 million views, making him a sought-after figure in the media space. Prior to all this, however, we didn't know much about the behind-the-scenes negotiations involving Shannon. But suddenly, everyone's talking about his forthcoming windfall. Marcellus also floated the theory that Shannon, or someone on his team, might have intentionally leaked the news of the deal to fuel the narrative that Gabby's lawsuit was part of a shakedown. The strategy would be to shift the public's focus away from the serious accusations against Shannon and instead make it appear that Gabby was simply trying to grab a piece of his newfound fortune. Despite his efforts to shift the narrative, sources suggest that Shannon is struggling to handle the weight of the allegations against him. ESPN has reportedly forced him to take a break, and insiders say there's a possibility he may never return to his role at the network, even once the dust settles. There are also growing rumors that Disney, which has long been linked to Shannon's career, might distance itself from him. The company is wary of his potential impact on their stock and brand, as he's starting to be seen as a public relations risk. If that wasn't enough, there's buzz that Shannon has approached Gabby and her team to renegotiate a settlement outside of court. After all the negative press and the accusations against her, he likely understands how damaging it could be for him if the case drags on. But what do you think? Is Shannon in over his head, or is there a chance he can salvage his reputation and avoid lasting damage? Share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more updates on this story.